Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Angie. Hello, beauty love unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. Hello, beauty love unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. Hello, ladies, and welcome back to my channel. And this video, hello, beauties, welcome back to my channel. I hope you brought a snack. Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to this video where we are gonna talk about this, but at least the makeup is looking fire. Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. Welcome to 2025, the day that this video is going live. The 24th of August marks my 10-year, a decade anniversary to my first ever upload on YouTube. I have a lot to say about my journey here on YouTube, about why I started, how I started, where I'm at now, what I see for the future. I did ask on Instagram you to ask me some questions, like what do you want to know, and I'm gonna get ready. I'm just gonna be using some things that I know and love. I'll link the things that are available down below in the description box in case you're interested, but I'm not really going to be talking about the makeup because I will be talking about the questions that you asked me. But 10 years ago, I decided I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to upload my first ever video to YouTube, and the reason why I did this, long story short, is that I was in a relationship that wasn't the best. I was not feeling like my best version of myself. I was really lonely. The friends that I had around me was not necessarily the best friends I could have had either. At least not the ones that were living close to me. I still were, at the time, my best friend Lisa. You know Lisa. We of course were friends, we were not living in the same city, and I was very, very lonely, and I was seeing people making friends on YouTube. This was the era when everybody was doing those collabs, you know? People were meeting up and doing collabs, and I was thinking, this could be something. Maybe I should start a channel, and maybe I can meet some friends. And I remember telling my husband at the time, imagine one day if I have 1,000 people subscribing to my channel, and if one of those, and maybe some of those people can become friends to me. 10 years later, and a lot of things have happened. I definitely did get 1,000 subscribers kind of quickly. I do want to talk a little bit about my first ever video. My first ever video, the one that I decided to upload with, did do pretty well. It's sitting over 30,000 views right now, and it did reach 20,000 views kind of quickly. And for being a first upload from someone who starts at 0 subscribers, that is not the norm. That is not the usual, especially not nowadays when social media is kind of saturated. I get people asking me all the time, is this space saturated? And yeah, in a way it is. You do really need to be thinking about what is the reason you're starting this. And I do think that a lot of people's expectations and motivations for starting social media today has definitely changed over the 10 years that I started. Because when I started, I did not know AdSense was a thing. I had literally had no idea. So when I got monetized, which happened, the rules were different then, but it did happen right away, because at that point you had to have 10,000 views on a video, I think that was it. Oh, and 1,000 subscribers, and that did happen kind of quickly. So I got a message from YouTube saying you can get monetized, and I remember thinking, and maybe even saying out loud, oh, this is how people make money. I literally did not know, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh my god, my intentions were so pure. I don't necessarily think there's something wrong with starting YouTube for a business venture. YouTube is my career right now. That is what I'm doing to pay for mine and, let's be honest, my husband's bills. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I do think a lot more people come into this space nowadays with the expectation or with the desire to make this their career, and maybe having that in the back of their mind as their not main motivator, but maybe main thing that they're plotting towards. Like, how can I get views? How can I get PR? How can I get sponsored? And I think, and I get a lot of questions, how do I get sponsored? How do I get a manager? How do I make more money? How do I monetize my platform? And I would say before you reach 50,000 subscribers, I would not worry too much about that. The good sponsors, the good opportunities will come with a bigger platform. Before then, there are not that many good opportunities that are going to come your way unless you build a very loyal audience or have a really good niche. I would say brands will find you. Don't focus so much on monetizing your audience before you have an audience. And I think that's one of the things that I've seen have changed with this platform. A lot of people are thinking monetization first, content, community, what to put out second. And I don't know if I necessarily think that's the best way to go about it, even if you are here to make money. Let's look at some of the questions. I said, don't hold back. Ask the questions you want to ask. This one is a really good question. How much was your first YouTube paycheck and what is the difference with your pay today? So YouTube has they changed the monetization a little bit and I don't know what the limit is. Like, you make money for the ads that your viewers are watching. That's how you get paid on YouTube. And I know that before it was you had to reach $100 for YouTube to make a deposit, and they make a deposit once a month. So if you reach $100, they'll make a $100 deposit and everything that's above $100. If you didn't reach $100, you will save that money for next month and maybe you reach $100 then. I know quite a lot of friends who make about $100 a month on YouTube. They get one deposit a month. I also know people who get maybe one deposit every other month. And I also know people that get 10K a month. Like, it's very, very different. And I will say, AdSense is not the same on all videos, on all views, on all times of the year. It's very, very different. Like, you will make more money at times during the year where advertisers want to make more ads. Around Christmas. You make less money on AdSense at a time of the year where advertisers want to advertise less. Summertime. Which is why there's a really good opportunity for creators to take some time off and relax with their family and have some vacation during the summer, because you do make less money per views during the summer. I mean, everybody needs to get a little time off. And without giving like an exact number, because it's never the same number from month to month, I do make more money each month on AdSense now than I did on my full-time job working with health and food safety and compliance back when I was working full-time in an office. Every month I make more on AdSense than I made at my full-time job. But of course, with AdSense, you have to pay your own taxes. You also have to pay for your own health insurance. You have to pay for your own pension savings and all of that. YouTube does not offer any kind of benefits whatsoever. You're not employed by YouTube. So there's also a lot of money going into other things that I didn't have to think about, especially living in Sweden, that I didn't have to think about before. So it's not that I get to keep all that money. A lot of it goes into taxes. This is a really, really good question. How did you power through your divorce while working full-time and filming? For the longest time, I used to work full-time and still do YouTube, more videos than I did now. And honestly, I don't know how I had the energy for that, because I feel like I'm nothing but tired now, but also I was 10 years younger, so it could be that. I will say, for me, and I still feel that way, YouTube is my escape. This is where I go to feel better, to be happier, to have a great time. So I never felt like YouTube was a chore or something I had to do, even though I didn't want to. So when really bad things happened to me in my real life that I didn't want to talk to on YouTube, I didn't have to come to YouTube. I didn't have to show up. I wanted to. YouTube was my escape. I came here because this was better than what my life was offering. I remember when my dad passed, I even spent time doing even more videos then, because I didn't want to deal with the fact that, I talked about this a bit on my channel, but when my dad passed, I felt very guilty because we were not estranged, but we were definitely not having the best connection. My dad was an addict pretty much my entire life, and I had a really hard time connecting with him because what are we going to talk about if we don't talk about the elephant in the room, which is why are we drunk at 10 a.m. So I didn't really have a good connection with him, and I felt very guilty when he died because I felt like I should have done more, even though, I mean, what should I have done? Like, I will be honest, at a time when I had more energy for it, I did try everything, but I had a lot of guilt. And YouTube really helped me focus on something else, so I didn't break down crying every other second. And when it came to my divorce, a lot of reasons made me, again, be able to focus on YouTube instead of my divorce. First of all, and these are just personal things, I asked to get divorced. So it was kind of easy to not be super down about the divorce because I'm the one who said I want to get a divorce. So clearly I wasn't super heartbroken that it happened. I think we would have been definitely in a very different position if I had been the one that was surprised about a divorce that I didn't want to have. I was not surprised. I instigated it. I said I wanted it. So clearly I was not like that. I mean, it's always a hard time going through it. And of course, I did everything I could at the time to not give anything away. I literally moved my background around the whole freaking country to be able to make people believe that I was still in our apartment, still filming, even though I was somewhere else. And I didn't want to talk about it with anyone. I didn't talk about it on YouTube until it was like finalized months and months and months later. So I think that that's also something that I had the opportunity to make it look like nothing was going on, basically. I also will say that I was not financially dependent on my husband. Even with my ex-husband, I was still at the time the one that made more money than him. I wasn't depending on him for income or health insurance or housing or anything like that. So it was easy for me to say, listen, I think I'm done. I think I'm good. Please and thank you. So for that reason, I also think that for me, a divorce wasn't as heartbreaking as it can be. It was life-altering for me, but I'm going to be honest, in a good way, because again, I was definitely in a space during that marriage that did make me not the best version of myself. And someone asked, how have you changed in the 10 years or something like that? And I will say it did take me, and I feel like in a way I'm still working on it. It did take me some time to come to terms with the parts of old Angie that just disappeared during this relationship. And I feel like I have gotten some of my old confidence back. I feel like some of the confidence is back again. Some of the self-love, some of the, I was always very sure of myself. Like, I knew, and I do know, that I'm like a good person. I knew that I was fun to be around, I was loyal, I was smart, but some of that did disappear, and I still do battle with some of that. Even to this day, it's been more than a decade. This like, am I supposed to be here? Do people even want me to be here? Because that was definitely something that I brought with me from that marriage, and I that's one of the ways that probably I have changed the most that you have seen, that I have gotten my confidence back. And I will say there is nothing some people hate more than a confident woman, but I can deal with that because I know myself, I know my worth, and it's not that I'm better than anyone else. I am as good as anyone else. I'm great, but so are you. Ooh, this is from my friend Linda from Glitter Fallout. You should definitely go and check her out. I'm so blessed and happy and grateful for the friends that I have made through this platform, and Linda is definitely one of them. She asked, looking back, is there anything you would have done differently over the last 10 years on YouTube? Okay, this is probably gonna be like, maybe this is like me talking against myself, but bear with me. I know on social media we always say like, oh, just be yourself. And I've always said, oh, I would never be able to like act or like have a persona for this long. But parts of me, knowing what I know now, I kind of almost wish I did. Because there are creators that I know that are not the same in real life as they are online. Not in a bad way, they've just chosen to portray themselves in a different way. And because of that, when people criticize them and tell them they're a bad person, they're this, they're that, all of these things, they're not criticizing them, they're criticizing this person that they made up. And I will say for me, I've battled a lot with my mental health over, honestly, my entire adult life. I got diagnosed with clinical depression when I was 17, I think. And since then, on and off, I have been battling with that. Sometimes dealing with it better than others. And when I'm not dealing with it as good, I feel like I'm a sponge. I just soak everything up. I'm like, everything just gets to me. And then when I'm doing good mentally, nothing gets to me. You can't tell me anything. But when I'm not doing that great, I do tend to just soak it all up and become super sad and just think that everyone hates me. Which, I mean, fair, maybe they do. Like, can you tell that I'm not doing as good mentally right now as I wish I would be? Because now I'm like, well, maybe they do. Maybe they should. Like, that's how my mind is thinking. And in a way, I almost wish that I would have had a persona online. Because then when people are criticizing me, they're not criticizing me, they're criticizing someone that I made up. Unfortunately, what you see is what you get. This is my mannerisms, this is how I talk, this is my sense of humor. If I say I like something, I like something. If I say I don't like something, I don't like something. I'm just not that good at fake it till you make it. Which in a way, somehow I kind of almost wish sometimes I would be, because the more you give of yourself, the more ammunition you give to people that just don't like you for one reason or another, which is, I mean, fair, but the more ammunition you give to these people to throw back at you. And depending on where your headspace is, it could hurt more or less. So I almost would be like, listen, don't give anything away. Don't give them anything, but also that's negative Angie talking. And in a way, I am also really happy with the people who do see me as the person that I see myself as, which is just kind, generous, and kind of goofy, that I'm happy that I've given my parts of myself to you because you see me as a good person and see me as I am. So it's a give and take. But there are definitely days where I'm like, ugh, if I just come up with a different personality, then when people criticize it, I can have been like, ha, that's not even me. Any creators you would love to connect with and any you wish you had avoided? Yeah, definitely. There are a few creators that I would really, really love to meet, and a couple of them I'm actually meeting. I'm gonna use, this is one creator I would love to meet. This is Courtney Quarantine's collab with Unearthly Cosmetics. It is available now. I would love to meet Courtney. Mine is a little melted because it was sitting outdoors, which was not ideal in the warmth. I wanted to combine it with a little bit of a warmer lip liner. That's really pretty. There's a couple of creators that I'm actually meeting. I'm going to Creator and Friends in Catskills, and there's a couple of creators that I've really, really wanted to meet that I'm meeting there, and that's going to be so much fun. And I do wish I'm able to meet Courtney one day. That will be super fun. There's definitely a few creators that I got to know, especially earlier on, that I now realize weren't really looking to be my friends. They weren't looking to be friends. They were only looking to get a shout out. They were only, I realize now looking back that they were, all that they really wanted to talk about was can you get me in contact with this brand? Can you help me get like PR from that brand? Can you talk to them and make sure that I get an affiliate code? And now looking back at it, I realized that they were never wanting to be friends. They were just networking, and that's my own fault also. And there's definitely been some people that have also like straight up like backtalked me and been nice to my face and then just said some really, really mean stuff to me behind my back that I'm just like, I don't mind you not liking me. That's perfectly fine. Listen, I mean, in hindsight, I don't like them either because that's not the kind of people I want to surround myself with. So it's okay that you don't like me. It's okay, I don't like you either. But don't be fake about it. If you don't like a creator, that's perfectly fine, but don't pretend that you like them when they can do you a favor and then just talk shit about them behind their back when you think that they're not going to be able to see it. Especially, like, be smart about it. Don't do it publicly. Because I've seen that, and even talked about it as of late, and that's just like, I don't know, there's something about the fakeness of it all, because there are people in this space that I don't like because of things that they've said and things that they've done. I just stay clear, because why would I interact with them even if they technically could, like, me knowing them would give me some kind of a benefit? That's not the kind of person I want to be either. I don't want to use people for their connections or anything like that, because it makes no sense. I've also had people that have been extremely rude to some of my friends that I know are good people, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not super interested in like being their friends, because again, I don't want to surround myself with people that are like the mean gossipers. I've had that in my life, and I'm trying to like stay positive. And I don't know how to phrase it, but it's more like, oh my god, I love this highlighter so much that I bought a second shade. I am trying to surround myself with positive people who talk positively about the people who are not in the room, because I have noticed the longer I've been on this earth that makes my mental health better. Listening to people be negative, which again, sometimes you're allowed to be negative about stuff. The toxic positivity doesn't give anything either, but I want to have people around me that say nice things about the people that are not in the room, not people who say negative things about the people who are not in the room. And that's how I've tried to curate the people that surround me, and it's really been a huge help for my mental health, because there was definitely a time in my life, not even like necessarily on YouTube, where a bunch of the people that were around me were kind of negative, and sir, and it did really affect my mental health, and it made me very insecure about myself, because I realized that, like, again, when I'm not in the room, I'm the one we're talking about. Like, you eventually, like, you realize that. Ooh, my battery is dying. Let me fix that. I feel like these two questions kind of like go hand in hand, because I think there is so much like mystery and like hush hush. I'm gonna be using the Oden's Eye Autumn 11 palette, the green one. I was looking through the palettes that I had that was almost new, and I was like, you know what, this is the one that I want to use. And the questions are, how come some people can post several times every week and others a few times a month without having a business or anything else on the side? Like, how do they make it like a business and live out of it? And another one was asking, how much money can you actually make? Some creators seem to be crazy rich. And I would say, yeah, some creators are crazy rich, because it all depends on how many views are you getting and how many people are like shopping from your links, for example. I know there are creators, and I have met creators that have said that when it comes down to like how much money they're making on AdSense and how much money they're making on like affiliate codes, they definitely make more money on affiliate codes than they do on AdSense. For me, AdSense has always been more important to me than money on like affiliate codes or affiliate links. I feel like I want to be able to be in control of the way I make my money without you having to buy something. With that being said, when you do use my links or my codes, it really does help out, and that is usually the money that's getting like reinvested into the channel, buying, like I recently bought a new microphone. I'm not filming with it now, I'm still waiting for it. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday, but now it says it's coming tomorrow. I don't even know if you heard any missed sounds during this, but it seems like my microphone is broken, so I had to buy a new one. But also, the bigger you get, the more views you get, the more you get paid for like sponsorships and stuff like that. So there are creators that are really big. They'll upload like one YouTube video a month. It will be sponsored and they make $10,000 on that. It is not unheard of. Not me. Couldn't be me. But like, I'm just saying, for some people, that's enough for them. They are not trying to hustle. They're not trying to make 15 videos of those making 15 times of money, because they're okay with making that amount of money and maybe chilling a little bit. And also remember that one video with 1 million views will most probably give you more money than 10 videos with 100,000 views. So the more views you get on one video, the bigger, like the more amount of money you get. So if you make one big video a week, that is going to pay you more than making 5 smaller videos. So a lot of creators, when they get to a specific size and they're able to make videos that garner like enough views for them to feel okay with that amount of money coming in, and also in like maybe sponsorship money or affiliate money or anything like that. Also remember, some people have other platforms. They might have TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and maybe they're monetized on all 3. That also could be a reason. They might be like, this is enough. Some people want to hustle and make as much money as possible. Some people need to put up 5 videos to get enough money to get by. Remember, also depending on like where you are in the world. I mean, I need more money in the US to survive than I needed in Sweden. You just need more money in the US to have like the life that I had in Sweden. You just need a bigger income. And also remember, like I have friends who are supporting kids, supporting family members. We also like, I know creators that have rich partners, literally like old money partners. They have partners that might be like making good money in like tech or something. They don't need, they're just, whatever money they're making, it's not going to the household funds. It's just play money for them. That's like the money that they like play for. The family is not depending on that like paycheck to come in. So every creator is different in that way as well. Because I know quite a few creators that have really well-off partners, so that their income on social media, even though they're probably making as much money as me, they're not depending on it, so they're not like maybe thinking about like it as a job as much. I got the question, how do you find motivation to create in the beginning when the views are small versus now? I just have to go back to, I started YouTube because I was like, this seems fun. My motivation wasn't necessarily to grow or to, definitely not to make this a career. And at the time when I started YouTube, I also was in a different relationship. My life was just looking very different. I was just looking to have a hobby on the side that I can upload maybe a video or 2 each week, find some friends, have some fun. It really, it wasn't that deep for me. I hope that makes sense. It wasn't something that I was like thinking about a lot. Like how do I maximize my views? I was just doing whatever I wanted. And I was like, oh, people seem to like this. Oh, people seem to like this. That was more my thing. And I also will say YouTube 10 years ago, a very different beast than YouTube today. Because YouTube 10 years ago, people were still like so excited about all makeup that they would literally watch a video with you doing anything with makeup. It didn't have to be the super fancy editing or lighting. You didn't have to have 10 different blushes. You could just have a video with one blush and people would be interested. I think today, not only because people are a little jaded with makeup content, but also because it is a little oversaturated, people want to see like videos that are all the blushes in Sephora, not just one. They want to see all of them. Every single blush. So it is definitely different, the kind of content that you can upload now versus then. But I didn't think it was hard to motivate myself to do YouTube at all. Not even a little bit, but it's because this was my safe space. This was the place I went to when I needed to not think about like real life. And maybe that is like my best tip when it comes to YouTube. If you have to motivate yourself to make videos in the beginning, maybe it's not for you. Because if you don't think it's fun, and it will take a long time before you see any true like benefits of YouTube, if you ever. Most people who start a YouTube channel never get a single payout from YouTube. And if that is your motivation, you might have a hard time motivating yourself if you don't think creating videos is fun. For me, doing videos, and I still enjoy doing videos, is fun for me. And if I didn't feel like that, yeah, I think it would be really hard to motivate myself to do it. Somebody's asking, would you still upload at least some videos if YouTube stopped paying your bills or like a hobby? I mean, yeah, I would. But I wouldn't, of course, be able to put this much time into it, because then I would have to get another job to pay the bills. So then I would go back to doing it as like a hobby. And like I said, for a while, this was my escape. This is what I did. This was my only hobby. So I did it a lot there for a while, even though I had a full-time job. That level, I will never do again. Because I know myself and I know I would burn out if I did that. So I will never do it again like that. Because now looking back at it, I realized that it's because I was like, oh my God, I found this new hobby and it was so much fun and I had this community. But I don't think I could ever do it like that again. But yeah, if YouTube stopped, like if AdSense stopped, I would still upload videos, but maybe one a week, something like that. Because then I would, of course, have a different job that I needed to tend to. Someone was asking, explain your schedule back in the day when you were working in an office job and making videos. Okay, this is why I could never do this again. So I was commuting to my work and I was going up at 04:50 in the morning a.m. to head to my job because I was commuting. And then I got home at about, usually around 5 p.m., sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And then I would immediately, when I got home, I would start doing YouTube. Filming videos, editing videos. Usually I would film almost every day. And I would sit down and film and edit and upload in the evenings. And usually I would be done with that, depending on what I was doing, around 9-10 p.m. Sometimes I would eat dinner by the computer editing. I would go to bed. I would do the whole thing again in the morning, go up at 04:50. And I would, in the weekends, I would sleep in on Saturdays. And then I would film my new makeup releases on Saturdays, edit it, and have it up on Sunday morning. And I did that for years. And this is why I'm saying I could never do that again. Because I don't even understand how I still have a husband. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was just having so much fun. I was just enjoying it so much. But now I have other hobbies too. Makeup is still a hobby. And if I didn't get paid to do YouTube, I would still do YouTube as a hobby, but not like that. And I mean, now my work days, I go up at 6 a.m. I'm usually by the computer at like 6:30. Sometimes I sit down right away. And I usually work until my husband comes home, which is usually between 6 and 7 p.m. Sometimes I work even later. And sometimes I'm done by like 5 p.m. And usually I work a little bit during the weekends too, but I try to take my weekends off to hang out with my husband. But of course I wouldn't be able to do YouTube like that if I had a full-time job, because then I would go up 6 a.m. and I would head out to work, which is fine too, because again, I love working, I love being busy. I just couldn't do it like I did it back in the day. How long did it take before brands started reaching out? Again, I think a lot of people now, and I think the beauty community has changed quite a lot during the time that I have been on YouTube. And I don't say this again as a mean thing, but I do think there's a lot more people right now that are starting YouTube or Instagram or TikTok hoping to get free stuff, which again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do think it's different today than it was back then. I got approached. Okay, here's what I will say. The smaller you are, the less likely you are to get PR from bigger mainstream brands, unless you are doing exactly the kind of content that they can repost, which basically means that they are gonna wanna use your content on their socials, on their feed, not as like sponsored work, but like they're gonna use your content on their feed because they think that it aligns with the picture that they have. So if you're really good at doing swatches, you're really good at doing good product photography, you're really good at doing lip swatches or tutorials for Instagram, you're more likely to get PR when you're a smaller creator because you are representing what the brand wants seen on their own feed. And with that, of course, if you are really good at that, you can start like that, and then with time you will grow your own presence and you'll be able to monetize it. Again, don't focus on monetizing too early before, again, because monetizing your platform is because you have a reach. Don't focus on monetizing your reach if you don't have a reach. I think we are too focused on money that we keep forgetting that what is it that brands are paying for? They're paying for your reach. And if you don't have a reach, then we have, of course, the UGC. But I also think that a lot of people are very much glorifying what UGC is too, because again, you have to be really good at what you do for brands to want to pay for that kind of a content. I got into indie makeup really quickly on my channel. I started with Divina and Luxie and with Cleona back when they were like new, before they even did multichromes, with JD Glow before they closed down and had their drama. There was a bunch of indie brands that I work with, and I got PR from them early. And that's also, if you are here to get free products, like again, I didn't even know that it worked like that, but if you are here to get free products, I would focus on the smaller brands over the bigger brands. Oh, I got mascara here. Because it is going to be much easier to catch their attention than it is to catch a big brand's attention. That's just me speaking from a personal experience. But I also think that, remember that PR isn't just a gift. If you are not producing material that the brand is hoping to see with PR, they're going to take you off a PR list. It is definitely transactional, even if there's no money involved, and even if there is no strings attached. Maybe don't forget that there's no strings attached on the brand side as well. At whatever point they want, for whatever reason they feel like, they can take you off a PR list if they feel like a creator is not creating, representing, living up to the expectations that the brand has. And I have been taken off quite a few PR lists, and I do think that the brands, I think they made a good decision taking me off. If I'm not giving them what they are looking for, they should take me off. There's also been some lists that I have asked to be taken off, either because I didn't feel like the brand and me really had a good fit, either because I'm not interested in showcasing the brand any longer on my page, or because it's a brand whose products I actually don't enjoy, so it's better that someone else gets to enjoy it, because like, why should I take up a spot if it's a brand that I don't seem to think makes stuff that's good for me. I also have been asked to not be put on PR lists from brands that are very, 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 very small and very new, because sometimes, if you are a mid-sized creator even, you can give a lot of traffic to a brand. And if they are not ready for that traffic, I don't want you seeing me loving something, me directing you to someone that is just not ready for that, and them ending up holding your money hostage, or you getting a subpar product. I try sometimes to stay clear of like fully new brands, unless I have someone who's watching for them, because I'm just like, listen, I don't want to be caught up in any of that. I think that my makeup look is somewhat done. I think this looks really cute. I just wanted something grungy green, easy. I just used 3 shadows from that palette. I'm gonna put on a false lash, brush my hair, and see if I can find maybe another good question. So here's the finished makeup look. I do think it turned out really good. I used some makeup that I really love, some makeup that I'm excited to use again, and also tried out a different combo with the lips. I wanted to end with this question because it also ties into one of the tips that I wanted to give about YouTube, and also one of the things that I have learned about myself while doing YouTube, which is, are you able to separate work from life, or does it seem like everything is content to record? If you didn't know, I have a second channel where I used to do lifestyle vlogs, but I ended up realizing kind of quickly that I didn't want to share that much about myself. I didn't want everything to be content. And if there's one thing that I have learned on YouTube, it is that regardless of how much I share, people always think that what I'm sharing is the only thing that's happening in my life. So if I share nothing about a Tuesday, a lot of people will actually just assume nothing happened that Tuesday. And that's one of the things that I have learned also, like I said before, that the more fuel you give for people about you, the more things they have to criticize you about. If they don't know anything about you, the creators that get the least kind of criticism are usually the creators that share the least about themselves. And I realized I didn't want to invite people into my life to criticize things that weren't about YouTube. I didn't want to have opinions about my family, my husband, my pets, my house, my friends. I don't want to see that or read that. I didn't want people to comment on my body, my choices in fashion, my choices in eating. I didn't want people to comment about my sleeping habits or the kind of TV shows I watched or how I organized my dishes. Like I wasn't open for that. And that's why my second channel now is travel vlogs and book content, because I'm very much into books again. I've been reading my entire life, but I've recently fell back in love with books, not only reading 1 or 2 a month, but actually like reading again, the way that I used to read when I was younger, because hobbies come and go for sure. So I dedicated my second channel to that. And that's one of the things that I will say about YouTube. And I see that with some content creators when I am like out and about. Some creators do see everything as content. And I would put up a little red flag. Be careful about how much of yourself you share online. It is not always, even though you can monetize it, it's not always the best idea to monetize it. There is a lot of things that I do in my life that I do not share online. The people I hang out with that don't have social media very rarely make it to my feed, and if they do, it's because I ask them, are you okay being in my vlog? Are you okay being in my stories? Is it okay if your living room is in the background on this picture? A lot of times that I hang out with my husband, us going to dates, us going to the movies, I don't always share about that because why would I? A lot of times, even in my travel vlogs, if I'm traveling, some days I'll share nothing because I just had that day for myself. In my stories on YouTube, I love sharing things that are happening in my life, but sometimes I'll only share one thing a day. But that doesn't mean that nothing happened that day. It just means that I didn't want to share all the things that happened that day. So I do think for me, for work-life balance, for keeping things a little separate, it was very important for me to make sure that not everything was content. And that's like one of the reasons I've said to you, I get asked kind of often, I want to say at least once a week, if I could do gaming, if I could stream myself gaming, if I could do gaming content, if I can get a Twitch. I really don't want to monetize another hobby. I just kind of want to keep that to myself. I've loved gaming my entire life. Before I even was 10 years old. I just don't want to give that part of me to the internet. At least not how I feel right now. So I just respectfully decline. Thank you for inviting me, but I think I'll stay in my own corner gaming. I just think it's important for me. Again, for work-life balance, to have things that I do, to have people that I hang out with, to have occasions where content just isn't an option for me, because that is a space in my life that I've chosen to keep for me. And that's also a tip I would give to you as a content creator. Be very mindful about what you choose to share versus what you choose not to share. It is okay to not monetize your entire existence. You might actually regret doing so. Thank you so much for all the support here on YouTube. I know sometimes, and I think me, myself as well, especially when I'm in a bad space mentally, I tend to become myself more negative and I tend to focus on some of the negative things. But overall, I've had an amazing experience on YouTube. I've had the best time. I've met the best people, gotten the best opportunities. I've been able to be my own boss. I've been able to be creative in a way that I did not even think that I was. I've been able to meet some of the best friends that I've ever had. I've been able to be and self-employed, be an entrepreneur in a way that I never thought was possible. I've been able to realize that I have personality traits and skills that I didn't even think I had. Who knew I would be this good at this many things? I mean, a decade ago, I didn't even think that that would be a thing. I mean, I always knew I was a good planner. I always knew that I was a doer. I'll say I'll do it and I'll actually do it. But who knew that that would lead into me doing this? Even if in the future I am not, again, I don't see myself being a full-time YouTuber in 10 years. I'm telling you that right now. That's not gonna be this person. I love it, but I don't think that I'll do it for another decade. Will I upload on social media in a decade? Oh, that I'm sure of. Will it be my full-time job? Probably not. I still haven't decided what I want to be when I grow up, and I have been absolutely loving my decade on YouTube. I have some regrets, but overall, I don't regret starting, and I don't regret uploading that first video. Even though I felt super awkward, it still has led me to some of the most amazing opportunities, people, experiences of my life. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for asking some of these questions. If you haven't subscribed, maybe this is the time. Listen, you have a decade worth of content to catch up on, and I will see you tomorrow. This was a bonus video. I will see you tomorrow with a new video.